For judgment I came into this world, that those who do not see may see, and those who see may become blind. In his movie masterpiece, City Lights, Charlie Chaplin lures us into an experience of pathos, where we encounter what is hilarious alongside what is heartrending, and in the midst of this sudden jolting from laughter to tears, we find a somber meditation on what it means to be blind and what it entails to truly see. Through the film, Chaplin's tramp emerges as perhaps one of the most unlikely instruments to ever demonstrate those confounding words spoken by Christ. These words belong to one of the most fascinating biblical texts found in John's Gospel and concerns the healing of a man born blind. Like a rolling stone gathering momentum, what begins as a miraculous healing becomes an intense interrogation between the man and the Pharisees. The ensuing verbal battle reveals the drama of the scene as the repetitious questioning of the Pharisees bring out an increasing boldness in the man's answers. And we witness the unbelieving Pharisees pushing the man born blind further and further into belief in the one he has encountered, Jesus. The dialogue draws us deeper into frustration at such stubbornness, unfeeling coldness, willful blindness, and we start to recognize the irony that the gospel writer clearly wishes to present to us, the irony of what it means to be blind and what it means to see. After being cast out by the Pharisees, Jesus finds the man and asks him a question that becomes the climatic point of the passage. Do you believe in the Son of Man? The man responds, and with this response, he can now see in the truest sense of the word. His physical healing has permitted him to see with eyes of faith and recognize the Lord who he is called to worship. It is at this point that Jesus speaks those words we began with. So what does Jesus mean that those who see may become blind and vice versa? Those words should be challenging, should perhaps even be greatly disturbing, as it leads us to ask who is truly blind and who can see. Complacency and indifference direct the question to others only, but if we are authentically engaged with the text, we can recognize the need to look at ourselves and acknowledge our own capacity for blindness and the things we are still in need of healing for. The believer can often become the most likely to slip into blindness without knowing it, therefore not even realizing his own need for the gift of seeing. Chaplin's City Lights, recognized as one of his greatest films, offers us a meditation on the same theme, where we encounter three examples of what it means to see and not to see. Never intending to arise from or lead to a scriptural exegesis, Chaplin's film shows us the universality of this truth, that blindness is simply not confined to one's eyes. In the film, Chaplin's tramp meets and falls in love with a beautiful blind girl who sells flowers. In a hilarious mix-up that has the tramp exiting a fancy car, the girl feels his suit, but unable to see how faded and dirty it is, assumes him to be a very wealthy man. He doesn't have the heart to disillusion her with the truth, and on hearing her blindness can be fixed by a very expensive operation, he spends the rest of the film engaging in all sorts of hilarious adventures to raise money, while masquerading as the wealthy benefactor, but in actuality sacrificing all to give to her. In the midst of this, Chaplin encounters a genuine millionaire who befriends the tramp whenever he is drunk, but disdains him when he is sober. Let's look at each of these three characters and their respective ways of seeing. First, there's the millionaire, who can see physically, but is blinded by his millions and needs to be drunk in order to see past the money and to see the tramp as he is, breaking through the limitations of the world he is trapped in. His drunkenness doesn't give him perfect vision, but it does free him from the class differences and snobbery that ordinarily keeps him apart from his neighbour. In some ways, his seeing is affected by drink, blinding him to social reality. But the effect is that he sees the tramp in a way that is closer to the underlying truth, that here is a comrade, a brother, as we are all called to be when loving our neighbour. Then let us focus on the blind girl, who physically cannot see. Her lack of vision, however, becomes a gift because it protects her from the prejudices of the tramp's physical appearance and keeps her grounded through humility, by which she can see the heart of the tramp and his actual beauty. In fact, the film suggests it might be the return of her physical vision and the pride that accompanies it that could actually blind her. Finally, we have the tramp, an innocent who evokes for us the words from another scriptural text, "Become like this little child." To be a little child in the world is to see the world through the eyes of innocence, the eyes of a child. This is Chaplin the tramp's way of seeing the world. He sees the beauty of creation and the beauty of life, even in the midst of abject poverty. Objects take on new meaning in his hands, like the child who makes the walking stick a sword. He sees the hidden beauty in this humble blind girl. The last shot of the film, which can't help but bring tears to our eyes, is his gaze, as we have come to understand what that gaze means through the film. We see his seeing, and it is a sight to behold. He not only sees, but sees on the deepest level, which approaches the divine. Only with humility can we truly see. The millionaire is humbled by drunkenness. The girl is humbled by her blindness. Chaplin's tramp is humbled by his poverty and his childlike innocence. Humility, then, is the light by which one can see. It is the secret to the success of our vision. Amongst the blaze of city lights, humility shines the brightest. It's a gift we should be yearning for, and something we can pray to grow in as we approach Easter, so that we too learn how to truly see.